everybody, and welcome to a special weekend edition of the
GEEK BUDDIES! Hey! Yeah.
We're back at it this week to talk about some stuff that's been breaking in the last few days. We're going to get into some Jurassic World news, some Gremlins news, some Rambo news. What the hell? And we're going to get our spoiler review for Predator Badlands to wrap up the show. That's what we're doing. If you guys want to jump to the review already, the time code should be down there in the description of the video and all of that. But if not, please sit back and relax. We're going to have a lot of fun here talking about all this stuff. Let's introduce ourselves first. I am John Rocha, writer, producer, and host here on the Geek Buddies.
I am Michael Vogel, writer, producer of animated TV shows, movies, and video games.
And this is Shannon McClung. I'm an animation writer, a television actor, and as of last week, a feature film actor.
Hey, look at this guy over here.
I got to go to a fancy table read this week, and it was fancy.
Anyway, we're going to get into stuff here, as I mentioned earlier. So let's just kick it off. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into this thing. Jurassic World Rebirth. It is happening. A sequel is happening to this movie, y'all. This is coming to us from my brother Jeff Snyder over there at the Hot Mic. But Gareth Edwards is returning to direct the next Jurassic entry, while the film's main trio of stars, Scarlett Johansson, recently crowned Sexiest Man of the Year, Jonathan Bailey, and Oscar winner Mahershala Ali are all expected to return. However, who is writing the film is still in question. We know David Koepp wrote the last one, and a lot of people's criticisms of the movie was with the writing. So this is an interesting path they're walking now, because remember, Gareth was hired after David Koepp had already written the script. So he was kind of hamstrung by having to adhere to that. Now this seems like they're giving him the job, and then they're going to find a writer that works well to create what they want to create. Michael, your thoughts on this? You like this? This makes sense. The film made over $850 million worldwide.
The film was a huge hit. So it is not a surprise that this is happening. And from a universal from a studio perspective, this is perfectly logical.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world. This might have broken my curse, guys. Like, I don't know if I'm in for this one. We'll see.
You say that every time. And then,
I know, and then the trailer comes out. I know, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm like everybody else. Like realistically, and I could argue nice moments in many of the Jurassic Park movies. Oh, Jurassic World had this great moment. Lost World, the Lost World had this great Spielberg moment. But realistically, Jurassic Park is a franchise with one good movie. It's like Transformers. Like there's one good movie, and everything after that you are going because you loved that movie, and the dinosaurs look cool. Yeah. But I don't think that anyone is going to this movie to see Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. I mean, I will go watch the sexiest man alive do anything, but I don't think they are the draws here. But it makes sense that they're going to continue the story. The movie made a lot of money, and when last we left them, Mahershala Ali had miraculously survived a dinosaur that looked cool but had no important effect on the movie. And then Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson decided that they were going to upload the cure for whatever to the world and give it to them for free. So that is the story. Is that going to be interesting? I don't know. So yeah, I think they broke my curse. Like all this, and also the Gareth Edwards of it.
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards does a lot of really good stuff as a visual director, but when he is more in charge of the storytelling, it doesn't always go great.
Fair point.
So in general, we all knew this was coming. We're going to get more dinosaurs on the big screen. John Williams is going to make his fucking money on that score because it's going to get people into the theaters, but I don't know, guys.
Yeah, Shannon, Gareth Edwards coming back to direct this one, as I said, without a script yet. But this one did make $1 billion. The other ones did. Should we have expected this one to make $1 billion? Is this more like a Hobbs and Shaw, maybe slight spinoff? Was that the mentality or so? The fact that it made $868 million, that actually is a positive for the studio, and they want to bring back everybody, because we've seen this before where they shall I show you the Megan 2.0 box office returns? Shall I show you some other people who get brought back and then their second bite at the apple isn't as strong because that first bite was just an anomaly? Like Venom, those last two movies did not do as well as the first one. So what do you bring the team back together?
They're garbage.
Oh, they're all garbage.
The thing, like, yes, this did not make as much money as the previous trilogy, but also this one costs less than the previous trilogy. And so
fair.
That's where they are kind of factoring in the success. Now, because ticket prices are higher, the movie made less money. Less people saw this one. In terms of films that I don't care about, this trio coming back together, like, all right. I'm curious which candy bar wrapper is going to cause mass technological chaos in this go around. But again, like, I do agree with Vogel, like, having a director on earlier, in this case, Gareth Edwards, typically that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That that he's not hopping on a train that's already moving. But when you look at the things that he has been the captain of in the past from the beginning, you can argue it's narrative success. So, the creator, is the
prime example that pops to mind.
It's an incredible visual movie. I mean, that trailer was just absolutely stunning, and they were able to keep the production costs down because, again, he's a visual effects guy. But again, you went and saw the creator, and at least for me, I won't speak for anyone else, but I was left feeling pretty numb.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I already feel about the franchise in general, despite the fact that it is my day job. So like Jurassic movies doing well, that's only good for me. So I would love it if this quartet came back together and knocked it out of the park. But historically speaking, history is not on their side.
Well, and I was actually gonna point that out because, and look, this is a side effect of modern movie making in the IP era that we live in, which is when you look at a movie like Tron Ares or you look at the Jurassic Park franchise, there is the box office,
right?
But then there is also everything outside the box office. Like there are Tron light cycle roller coasters at least 2 Disney parks. And the more they make Tron movies, the more people want to go to those parks and spend money. The more Jurassic Park movies there are more people that want to go meet Shannon so that they can pet a raptor. Like that is a part of the industry and a part of the business.
They cannot pet the raptor. I want to get those expectations out of the way. The amount of children I have to break their hearts when I say no, you cannot.
If you go up to Shannon and he's working at Universal and you say under your breath, "Geek Buddies, you can pet the raptor."
You pet the raptor.
Yeah. Then you can pet the raptor.
There are people who watch our show who have come to the park. You are really setting me up for failure.
Oh, right man. Guys, somebody do it, please. For the love of God, somebody do it to him. But no, this is what I'm saying. Like, and this is an issue because, like, should they make more Tron movies after Tron Ares? Was Tron Ares an amazing movie that we're all clamoring for more of? No. Will they possibly continue to make Tron movies because of all the other stuff? Maybe. And Universal 100% is going to continue to try and crack Jurassic Park for as long. I mean, and look, I care more about the Jurassic Park movies than Shannon does, but my version of that is the Fast and the Furious movies. But there is a very large roller coaster that is very close to opening at Universal Studios right now. And if that thing exists, the chance of them going, you know what we should make more of, stays high.
Yeah. And look, I as you said, Mike, I don't fault the studio for going forward with this. Look, it made $868 million. I don't think they thought the film was going to make $868 million. The fact that it did, you kind of have to bring these people back. And you can get away with it because you can say, well, look, the script was written ahead of time. The issues you guys had with the movie, a lot of it was the writing and that stupid let's share trauma scene between Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson. So you can say, let's get a better.
I don't know, John. You're the one that's always saying you want deeper scenes where people really delve into their backstories. You got exactly what you wanted.
Not exactly. No, not in any way. Exactly what I wanted. But you want to find a writer who's maybe going to come in, who's maybe a little younger, that understands the franchise, can get even more out of this. And I think, Shannon, you make a great point too about Gareth Edwards. I think the guy is living a little bit on, he really wowed me, as opposed to like directing is also directing actors. Directing is also bringing out really good performances, connective. things in their relationships. That's also a part of directing. It isn't just knowing where to place the camera. It isn't just knowing how to shoot action sequences. It's also getting really good work out of your actors. And clearly, you have 3 fantastic actors in this movie and arguably delivered not great performances, not the great work of their career. So, as great as Gareth is on the visuals, and I see people excuse Gareth all the time on the visuals, it's the relationship shit that is the issue. That's the problem with the creator. That's the problem with Godzilla. That's the problem with this movie. And there's a reason Tony Gilroy came in, saved Rogue One, and then showed you what the fuck he could do with Andor. It's because Gareth is limited. So, do I think this works? Yes. Does it work for Gareth? Yes, because I don't think Universal's like, really make us a gangbuster film. It's more like, can you make a good one that people want to come see over and over again? This makes sense. I just wish they'd been a bit more inspired, and maybe they'll learn the lessons from the Rebirth and do better, but I wish they were more inspired to select another director that could be more exciting to step in and do this and figure out the relationship issue and do some great visuals.
Yeah. And look, on the actor front, like, I mean, we're talking about all the reasons that they aren't the draw to the movie, but also arguing the other side of it. When you have Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson, and Jonathan Bailey, there's no reason not to keep them. They're not, they're not the, like I was saying, like, okay, they're not the reason you're going to the movie, you're going for the dinosaurs. But when you did happen to cast these 3 amazing actors who are all very hot in their own ways, in their careers, also hot as people, there's no, like, you're like, okay, you have 3 characters that arguably are more interesting than the movie they were in led you to believe. Like, there's probably more you could get out of those characters. And as far as those actors and the quality of their craft, there's certainly more that they could do with those characters, like what you were saying. So, there is this, this is where I always get in trouble, where I argue myself into being excited about something I know is going to be bad. But there's a world where somebody comes up with a good story and you're like, oh, finally. Yeah. Past experience would lead us to believe they're not going to do that. But hey, maybe.
Because the studio puts their fingers all over it and makes it, changes things or whatever. But let me ask you this, and I'll start with Shannon, swing back to you, Michael. When they were having troubles with that recent Jurassic World trilogy, even though all those 3 films made $1 billion plus, they brought back the old characters as they brought back Jeff Goldblum in the second one, I think, and then they brought back all 3 of them in the third one. So do you see the possibility, Shannon, of them bringing back Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard or both to be a part of this situation, or God forbid, the original foursome or trio rather, to make cameos here? What are your thoughts on it?
I think there's always the possibility that they could bring them back, but I don't think Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters were as beloved as that original trio. I don't know if they're going to move the needle the way that Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, I don't really see that happening, but I think that possibility is always on the table. And if you've seen the new trailer, the trailer for that new Chris Pratt movie where it's him and Rebecca Ferguson, I think he's gonna. I think he would be willing to come back under the right circumstances. That's just my guess, though.
Yeah, you're right. But I also think, look, if you've watched any, and there's a lot of it out there, any of the Wicked press tour, and you've seen Jonathan Bailey and Jeff Goldblum together in a room, they got good chemistry.
Good point.
Like those two together are really, really a delight. So. A Jonathan Bailey as the hot young Milo Thatch-esque scientist and Jeff Goldblum as the senior chaos theory expert. Again, guys, maybe I'll give the movie one. I'm going to give the franchise one more chance. I'm going to do it one more time. Maybe this is the one.
No, he's changed, guys. He's changed.
Guys, I'm out. I'm done. One more time.
You know what? It was my fault. It was my fault.
I didn't see the movie in the right conditions. I had been drinking the night before. Maybe I'll go in fresh this time. It'll be fine.
I expected too much. It was on me. It's my fault.
Guys, remember, Geek Buddies, Pet the Raptor.
Pet the Raptor.
That is not a thing.
Oh, that could be another t-shirt for us. All right. Anyway, let's Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's move on to Gremlins 3. This is we got more news this week that came out. Gremlins 3 is going to happen. Steven Spielberg doing a lot of getting attached to a lot of things here. But yes, this is going to happen. Warner Brothers is officially doing it, according to David Zaslav, who announced it during Warner Brothers Discovery's third quarter earnings call. One of the last few he's probably going to do after Paramount gets done with their bidding. but Steven Spielberg is back on board as an EP, and also the film's original writer, Chris Columbus, will produce and direct the film with Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein co-writing the film, and they did Final Destination Bloodlines. So they'll be working with Chris Columbus and writing the film. So Shannon, I'll go to you first on this one. So, Mike, first on the Jurassic. What are your thoughts on this? Do you like this idea of a Gremlins 3, Chris Columbus directing it now, and then the Final Destination Blood guys coming aboard to write it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am very excited about a third entry in the big screen version of Gremlins, and the fact that they have some horror writers, but horror, a little bit of a kitsch in there as well. I mean, that lines up perfectly with the first Gremlins. Like, the second Gremlins is really funny. It wasn't, people didn't find it funny when it came out in the theaters. It took them a little while to get the joke.
Oh, I did.
I know you're so ahead of the curve. But I love the fact that they're going back to the well for Gremlins. I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. Like, and I'd be curious to know, because of the animated show, The Secrets of the Mogwai, like, did its numbers do so well that they're like, you know what, let's go back at this? Or was this kind of something that was always kind of in the back of their minds? I mean, that first Gremlins movie is so much fun. And I also feel like audiences have evolved to the point that kids may not be as scared of the Gremlins as maybe they were in like 1984. But I think that's a blast. And Chris Columbus, directed the first two entries in the big screen Harry Potter, and some people felt maybe he was great to establish the world, but as the movies continued, they got more interesting directors. I would love a return to form for this, for him, because I do think he's a fun director. And again, like, the fact that this is going to be coming out in November, like holiday season, like, absolutely give us some Gremlins. Let a whole new generation of kids fall in love with Gizmo, even though Gizmo would probably be in the Mogwai nursing home at this point.
Oh God, I don't know how they age. That's a good point. Michael, your thoughts on this? This is your childhood. Chris Columbus, Gremlins, Steven Spielberg. Maybe not the Final Destination Blood guys, but everybody else is part of this. So do you like this idea? Does it make sense, this combination?
Listen, while not as exciting as Cola Scola doing a Miss Piggy movie, this is up there. This is up there. Like, Gremlins 3, it's a great idea. I like Shannon. I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. But I think the time is right to do it. I think it's exciting. Like, people don't, if you are not of a certain age, you don't remember what it was like when this movie came out. This movie famously is one of the two movies that created the PG-13 rating.
The first movie, right? Exactly.
The first Gremlins. When first Gremlins came out, which is rated PG, it was so scary.
Yeah.
But it was scary, and kids got the shit scared out of them, and yet there was a toy line and Gremlins cereal in the cereal aisle. Like, it was one of those weird things where you're like, it was sort of marketed as this fun kids movie, and then it scared the shit out of you. But that's why it kind of had this hold over everybody. Like, and between that and Temple of Doom, people were like, maybe we say, don't go see this movie if you're under 13. I saw that movie. My dad took my sister and I, the first Gremlins, and I got so scared. I was like, I want to leave, until the Gremlins broke into the movie theater and started watching Snow White, and all started singing Hi Ho. And I was like, I could stay a little bit longer. But yeah, it's a great franchise. And yeah, Gremlins 2, Joe Dante made a choice to make more of a parody of Gremlins. But by the way, that movie, when you go back and watch it, is fucking funny.
It is.
And the Key and Peele sketch about the making of Gremlins 2 is one of the funniest Key and Peele sketches, because it's so stupid, but everything that they talk about is in the, hey, let's have a gremlin made of fruits and vegetables. Let's have an electricity gremlin. Let's have a girl gremlin with green wig and big old lips. Like, it's all in the movie. But the core of the Gremlins franchise, the Mogwai, the most adorable pet ever. Don't get him wet. Don't expose him to light, especially sunlight. It can kill him. Don't feed him after midnight. And then all hell breaks loose. It's just a great formula, and it's a great franchise. I don't think the Legends of the Mogwai animated series did do great numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a really cool and interesting series, but I don't think in the world of animation, it's not something that like everybody was like, oh my God, you got to watch it. It's so cool. But somewhere along the line, I think they did realize they do have a really solid franchise here. And I'm glad they're coming back to it. I really hope this sort of re-sparks this franchise and that this leads into getting a couple more Gremlins movies over the next several years. Cause I think it's something that you can do a lot with. I also wonder with the Final Destination Bloodlines, as we said, Gremlins 1 is the reason the PG-13 rating exists. Gremlins 2 is very satirical. I would love to see a Gremlins 3 that sort of marries the two a little bit. I think if you can have, and I think the Final Destination team is the right kind of team to do that. A movie that's a little bit scary, a little bit dark at times, but let the Gremlins be just funny enough that you can do some really, really clever things.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to kind of putting this franchise on a new path for a new generation.
So what was the holiday from Gremlins 2 that Phoebe Cates talked about? There are the other traumatized.
It's President's Day.
Nice.
It's President's Day. And Billy shuts her up. So like, yeah, Gremlins 1, for those that are younger and interested, in the Gremlins 1, there's this crazy moment because it's a Christmas movie where Phoebe Cates as the girl character is talking about how she hates Christmas because her dad left to go put on a Santa suit and never came back.
Oh, right.
And then they started smelling something, and it took them days to realize that he had tried to come down the chimney and broke his neck and was dead. This is why she hates Christmas. And it's this dark fucking moment. And then in Gremlins 2, they're trapped, and she starts talking about why President's Day is so traumatic. And Billy's like, babe, we don't have time for this right now.
Well, I have very complicated feelings about this announcement because one, I love that the Final Destination Bloodlines guys are being a part because I loved that movie. That was a lot of fun. That movie. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. So it brings kind of a younger edge to this if you're going to do it again. So great. I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Columbus as a director, and I think he's kind of a safe, vanilla, boring director. And yes, he had great stuff in the 90s, but we haven't seen shit from him worth a damn for the last 20 years. And so to me, I get concerned that you're bringing him. That being said, Lipovsky and Stein, they directed Final Destination Blood. So I wonder if maybe they're not only co-writing the script, but they might be on set with Chris. And maybe this was all part of it. Like, listen, they're going to come on, they're going to co-write, they're going to be on the set with you. And then, and Spielberg's like, look, if you want to come back, if I'm going to bring you out of doing the Thursday Murder Club for Netflix, if I'm bringing you out of that wildland and bring you into the sunlight again, then you've got to be willing to agree to do this, because you can't get lost here in nostalgia. I mean, Chris Columbus's movies, other than the Thursday Murder Club, what do you got? What do you got here for him as a director? There's not that many that are great over the last few years. Pixels was pretty bad, right? Percy Jackson Olympians, not that great. So much that they rebooted the whole damn thing. I Love You, Beth Cooper, not good. He sucked all the life out of Rent. And then you get the first two Harry Potter movies. So to me, this is where I get concerned with the director. But I hope that Lipovsky and Stein are going to help not only with the writing, but also with some of the directing. So it becomes a little more fresher and a little less safe. But overall, I do like the idea. I'm not a fan of Columbus coming back to direct it, but we will see. Because I was going
to push back on you. But then you went through that filmography and you hit Rent, and I was like, no, I'm going to leave it alone. You were
not even the first two Harry Potter films. They're nice.
No. I will defend. I don't disagree, and I think that Alfonso Cuarón is the best director they had out of all of them. But I'd still give Chris Columbus way more credit. Like Shannon kind of said it, that he did establish the world. Those first two movies, he did a lot that got everything right, that other directors came in and did really interesting stuff after and are maybe more interesting, more this, but I'll give him credit for Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. I think
the foundation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He setting the foundation for one of the most beloved literary franchises and creating a movie franchise that worked as well as Harry Potter did. That's not just, he made the sets look nice. Like he really established the visual world of Harry Potter, and every other director after him, including Alfonso Cuarón, took what he did and built on it. But I'll give him really big credit for those two. However, Rent and everything else that you said, you're like, you're not wrong.
I just like Johnny's framing of Spielberg as an elder mob boss being like, Christoph, if I do you this favor, if I bring you back.
By the way, at this point in Hollywood, that's not incorrect.
Listen, the biggest fallacies people have in their minds about Hollywood, about entertainers, is that Spielberg is a really nice guy who just hugs everybody. It is a well-known thing in Hollywood, Hollywood insiders. You don't fuck with Steven Spielberg. Spielberg is not someone to fuck with. And I don't mean that he's like a mean guy. I just mean that Steven is not someone to fuck with. And if he tells you this is the way it's going to be, guess what? This is the way it's going to be. And so you're going to be on his side with all these things. So he's a benevolent mob boss, but he's a mob boss nonetheless, So, I mean, come on now. Come on.
I mean, really, now all I can think of is them talking about who should direct Gremlins 3 and Chris Columbus coming up and Steven calling and saying, that's okay, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Now that's all I can think of in my head.
It's going to be your signature or Mogwai's brains on this contract. You make a choice.
Oh my God.
Make a choice.
but a big part of this is Warner Brothers wants their Grogu.
Right. This is about Zaslav exploring the IP. Like he wants
it is like we'll talk about it when we get to Predator, because there was a big debate when we got out of the Predator movie, but the Gizmo is in a lot of ways the prototype of Grogu.
That's true. That's actually very true.
Every kid in the 80s wanted a Gizmo doll. Like Gizmo was big. And so if they can really crack this and they can get 1/4 of the consumer products that Star Wars got off of Grogu, they'll be doing great. So that's a big part of this as well.
I hope Phoebe Cates unretires and comes back for at least a cameo, or Zach Galligan, either one of them.
She's got to talk about another holiday.
You've got to have that. You've got to have that.
This is just like Columbus Day. I mean, Indigenous Peoples Day. I mean, Columbus Day. Which one is it now? I don't know.
What administration are we under? I don't know which one I'm supposed to say. Anyway, all right, we'll see what happens, and we'll see if the end result is worth it in a little bit when this gets going, because this is totally going. This is if Spielberg.
Oh yeah. No. This is full speed. This is not like maybe this will happen. This is full speed ahead.
Right. Another thing that is full speed ahead is a Rambo prequel movie. This is absolutely happening. Just a few days ago, this was confirmed by Lionsgate that the Rambo prequel will happen with Noah Centineo, who some of us saw in Black Adam, taking on the role of John Rambo. And the way they're approaching this, which is really fascinating, is they're approaching this with a little bit more of a softer approach, a kinder, gentler Rambo is what they're talking about. Filmmaker Jamari Helander is helming the project. Stallone is not an executive producer or producer on this thing at all. But I'll tell you who is executive producing: the Russo brothers. So this is an interesting situation where Anthony and Joe Russo's AGBO will produce the John Rambo prequel reboot of the iconic franchise. So this is an interesting combination, because Jamari Helander is the director of Sisu, which is one of the most amazing revenge films. If you guys haven't seen that, and the sequel comes out in about a month. So Michael, your thoughts on this Rambo and all these people involved? Do you like the idea of a kinder, gentler Rambo and the Russo brothers involved with this, and Noah Centineo?
As we've been talking about, I watched a lot of movies in the 80s. Rambo is a franchise that, when I tell you I don't care about it at all.
How dare you?
I do not care about Rambo.
Wow.
At all. All of this news, Rocha's sending out all the news we're going to talk about today. Oh, it's going to be a kinder, gentler Rambo. This guy's playing Rambo. The Russo brothers are attached to Rambo. I'm like, let's talk about Cola Scola and Miss Piggy. Like, I don't care. But that being said, I think a kinder, gentler Rambo makes sense. Like, I understand why they are doing it. The soldier, the American soldier of the 80s is not something that would play today, even with your hardcore far right audience. Like, it's just, the vibe is not what we want. We want soldiers like Steve Rogers. Like if you're going to talk about the quintessential soldier, like Steve Rogers and the way they treated Captain America in the movies, which, by the way, is a softer, kinder Captain America than you get in the comics.
Sure.
That is kind of the type of patriotism that I think we as culture respond to better. Does that fit what hardcore people who love the Rambo franchise from the 80s want? Probably not.
Yeah.
But to get a new audience, to kind of what we're talking about with Gremlins and all these franchises, to capture a new audience, it's probably the smarter move. But again, I'm not the guy to really weigh on into this because no matter how kind and gentle he is, I do not care.
Yeah, Shannon, Noah Centineo doesn't really radiate like, you know, so the kind of gentle approach makes sense. But also this is the quote, this is the official announcement, set during the Vietnam War and filming in Thailand, John Rambo will explore the formative experiences that shape one of cinema's most memorable action heroes. Now, Shannon, I'm going to guess that you and I have watched these Rambo movies a lot. And this idea that Rambo is kinder and gentler in Vietnam, where he was tortured and captured, I'm really confused by how they're going to approach this. Maybe this all leads up to the point before he gets captured. And when it's tortured, that's what turns him. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that would be my guess, is that we get to see who he was before, you know, the experience in war made him this, you know, kind of ultimate killing machine.
Yeah.
Noah Centineo, I think, is a captivating actor. Just from Black Adam and The Recruit. And because he does have kind of a lightness to him.
Yeah.
The idea that you're making him a kinder, gentler Rambo, I'm like, for this actor in particular, that does make sense. That's not to say that he can't go to dark places. I just haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But as an IP, you know, that fourth Rambo movie came out, you know, decades after Rambo 3.
Right.
And that was actually, I thought that was an enjoyable movie. I mean, they were kind of, you know, following the trail of Rocky Balboa and sort of this little bit of a resurgence of Sly. I enjoyed that movie.
The one in Burma, right? The one in Burma. Right? Yeah.
But that fifth one, you know, that kind of came and went. So I don't know how much interest there is in Rambo. I mean, the folks that did grow up with him, like you and I, and you know, adults at that time, they're starting to kind of fade away a little bit. So I don't know what I don't know the value of that unless this comes out and is just a fantastic film. Now, I thought Sisu was a very cathartic movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. But if you want to watch some violent, destructive payback, I mean, Sisu, yeah, I mean that definitely checks all the boxes. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you know, Noah Centineo, he was supposed to play He-Man for a little while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great choice. I don't know if He-Man, I think He-Man to Rambo might be a little bit of a downgrade. But again, this could come out and be fantastic. Maybe you don't actually need the Rambo name as much as you need a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting, but to your point, John, it's like, I understand why they're doing it and why they're saying it, but yes, the Sisu director setting a movie in Vietnam doesn't really speak to we're going for an adventurous romp. Like I mean,
right. And the writers here, Rory Haynes and Saurabh Sharvani, I hope I'm saying that right, Saurabh. I'm sorry if I'm not. They wrote The Mauritanian and Black Adam. So that doesn't necessarily make me think this is going to be a high quality film. Also, Lionsgate being attached, that's not always the best combo with all of this stuff. That being said, though, I hope it's good. You know, if you watch The First Blood, there was a lot of conversations before he starts to go down this path led by Brian Dennehy, where he talks about the people he served with, right, by name. He goes and visits, right? The opening scenes are him visiting one of the people, the mom of one of the people that he served with, thinking that he was there and hearing about what happened to him. So, and then he talks throughout the movie about the people he served with, leading to that monologue at the end where he talks about all the names and things that happened. So I think this is going to be fascinating. This is probably, they're pitching it as a kinder, gentler Rambo, but we're going to see him turn in the movie. There has to be an arc. And the question is, who's going to play Colonel Troutman? Because Troutman is the guy that recruited him. So not only are you stepping into John Rambo's shoes, you're also going to step into Colonel Troutman's shoes, both iconic figures in this story. So I'm going to be really interested to see how they cast this thing and where it goes. But you get the Sisu director, that they're not trying to make $500 million off this movie. They're hoping they can make it, but I think they're going to do it for a low budget and hopefully get a lot of people to be excited about it and then open the door. The big thing for me, though, is like, what is going on with Stallone? That he's being iced out of The Expendables, which are also coming back. He's being iced out of Rambo. He's being iced out of Rocky. They're doing a prequel Rocky film without him as well. So how can they get away with this? And how is Stallone not hiring like a team of lawyers to get himself on there to get a percentage or a piece of this stuff, or at least be an EP? It's really surprising. Like, I'd like to look at the contracts he signed to be like, why would you do this? You know, because he has no claim on any of this stuff. It's weird. Anyway,
man.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Listen, man, you reap what you sow. If people don't want to work with you, people don't want to work with you.
That's a fair point. That's actually a fair point. Yeah.
Like that is it's really, look, to your point about, yes, Hollywood is the mafia and Steven Spielberg is Don Corleone, but like the other side of it is people don't want to work with you. They don't want to work with you. Like the industry does work. There is a level of meritocracy. Not always. There's definitely assholes that get a lot of work, but there is a level of meritocracy where sometimes you're like, this isn't worth it. I just had that happen with me in a situation where I was talking to somebody about a project that they were very interested in, and then they found out the other people who were attached, and they were like, I love you, but no.
Wow, that's strong. That is strong. So yeah, and look, Tulsa King, Shannon and I love Tulsa King. We watch, I don't know if you watch it, Michael, but we definitely talk about it. They just fired like 25 people off the set, including his double, right before the new season starts shooting. So it's a weird little world, man. It's a weird little world with Stallone all the time. One last thing before we jump into the Predator Badlands, I do have to ask about this. Guys, we had the first teaser trailer for Michael. It dropped this week, 1.5 minutes. It's Antoine Fuqua directing this thing. I think it is Lionsgate. And so your opinions on this, did you like it? We had Jafar Jackson, Jermaine Jackson's second youngest son, playing Michael Jackson. We had Miles Teller in this thing, quite a few people being involved, the actor playing Quincy Jones. So real quick, just want to get your thoughts real quick, maybe 60 seconds each. What are your thoughts on the trailer? Michael, I'll go to you first.
It's fascinating. I think this is a problematic biography to tackle. Like I think we talked about this even when the story broke, where it's like, you know what, in the middle of this trailer, I thought of Dark Knight. I thought of the quote, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
And I think like that's the challenge with a Michael Jackson biopic. There's a version of this movie where you stop at a certain point and it's a lovely look at one of pop star's greatest icons. But if you extend that movie a little bit longer, you get into some really weird shit. And I don't know how. And if you do stop it early and go, isn't this great? I feel like you're not telling the whole story. But if you do tell the whole story, I don't know what kind of movie that is. And the trailer definitely is leaning more on, look at this lovely, talented person. But then the other part of it is, and again, if you are younger, you do not understand what it was like growing up in the era of Michael Jackson. Like, you know who Michael Jackson was. You've heard his songs. You're like, oh yeah, he was big. You can Taylor Swift all you want.
Yeah, no.
Nobody comes close to what it was like growing up as a kid when Michael Jackson was the king of pop. So I understand why this movie exists, but I still am just like fascinated to see how they try and tackle both sides of that coin of who Michael Jackson was.
Yeah. Mike, Shannon, your thoughts on the trailer and what we got here?
I mean, I agree with Vogel that this seems like a very complicated subject matter to approach. I mean, he's been gone almost 20 years now. And it was 2000. It was 2009 when he died. And depending on how much this actually covers, there are going to be some folks that not only will not be seeing this film, but they will be potentially protesting it because of personal experiences and or very strong opinions. The fact that removing that, the fact that he's being played by his nephew, I do think there is sort of like there's kind of a beauty in that. And you know, this is a short trailer, like it's at what, about 90 seconds. What we see, he seems like he's a good fit to play the role. But I think I'm more curious about how much this is going to cover. We know they at least get to Thriller because we see that in the trailer, and that there are discussions that there's going to be a sequel. Maybe the sequel is already being made. Maybe I heard that. But it's going to be really, really interesting. But also Antoine Fuqua, very hit or miss.
Yeah, hit or miss.
Yeah.
I mean, and is he the guy to bring this to the table? I don't know. We'll see. And also just the release date. I mean, typically when you have a big kind of musical biopic, you position that as an awards contender. This is coming out in the spring. And also the last big musical biopic we got, it did not do well. And even though it was a fairly decent movie. But I think Michael Jackson might, because of his passing, and because he has more of a had more of a colorful existence. Maybe it's more interesting subject matter than like Bruce.
It is interesting though, like because you do a movie of this young kid, the Jackson 5, and you end at Thriller.
Yeah,
that's a triumphant story.
Yep.
But then you come out and you go, yeah, that is not all of it. And then if there is a sequel, what a fucking downer.
Yeah. It's like Goodfellas, right? If you stop Goodfellas before the drugs start to happen, it's an amazing movie.
Hey, this guy got a great life.
Yeah, if you go forward, it's a classic movie. But
guys, I love the mob.
I haven't enjoyed today. But yeah, listen, to me, I love the trailer. You know, as Michael said, like if you grew up with, Taylor Swift is great, but there was never a backlash with Michael. That's the difference. Michael appealed across until later, of course. But like initially, Michael appealed across the board, male, female, whatever, whatever gender, whatever race, ethnicity, like everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. It was massive. And so, yeah, he's just, I think the trailer does a great job of teasing you with what they're going to show. And they wanted you to be happy. Like they wanted to appeal to people that still love Michael, regardless of all the other stuff. Because even the scenes with him as a young kid, he's like laughing with his family. And we know that his dad, Joe Jackson, whipped the shit out of him with electrical cords. So like there's other things that they're going to explore. And I imagine when we get a full trailer, we're going to see a little bit more of the darkness behind the success and all of that. And I do want to say something, because I do want to break this on every show I can, break this idea that Michael is just this sweet little innocent boy caught in a man's body. If you listen to people talk about Michael Jackson now, especially some of the brothers, and when they talk about working with Michael in the day, like Michael was a player. All right, let's make it clear. All right, it's not some innocent guy who showed up at a church and dated your sister. This guy was a player. So this idea that he's just this sweet little, like, you got to break that thing in your mind. That was an act he put on to get across with everybody. But he was very much again, like Spielberg, a guy with a steel spine. It's just that you had this perception of him in a certain way that worked for a majority of people, that has worked out for him. And as he got older, I think it was the breaking down of those things that he was constructing that's what ended up leading to the things that it led to. And of course, I don't think he was found guilty of anything. So you can argue that, he was found innocent in Corso, what allegations, but you can't ignore them. And the Lionsgate's guy, he said that if this does well, they're going to continue with the story.
Yeah.
Because it was pitched as a 3-hour film, and they shot footage for the second part of the movie, but the lawyers got involved with the people who had accused him of the things they accused him of. And so that ended up putting the kibosh on that for now. So we'll see what happens going forward, and plus his family are the executive producers on this. So they're not going to let him look.
But that's the thing. And that's like Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong. Like never, no lots of accusations, nothing proven in the court of law. But
to be fair, yeah, exactly. But
even the best rose-colored glasses that you can put on about Michael Jackson later in life, you're like, this dude was troubled. There was a lot going on here. So like it's a tough one. I will say, as you were talking about everything, we've been talking about reboots and movies to bring back, and having nothing to do with the Michael Jackson movie. I don't know why Disney hasn't decided to make a big budget feature Captain EO movie.
That's a good question.
I don't care what pop star you put in it. Find the right pop star, Bruno Mars. I don't care. Give me a Captain EO 2.5 hour summer tentpole movie, sci-fi, musicals, get John Chu to direct it. Like, why aren't we doing this?
Good point. I mean, Pesci's still around. You can bring him back for a cameo.
Put Angelica Houston back in that fucking suit.
No. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be funny as hell. All right, so we'll see. I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it, on the Michael trailer. Let's move on though, into the Predator Badlands review. Let's get into this thing. Dan Trachtenberg coming back with another Predator installment following on the heels of Prey and Killer of Killers. This is Predator Badlands. A young Predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally on his journey in search of the ultimate adversary. This one, of course, starring Elle Fanning as Thea, doing dual roles there as two separate synths, and Demetrius Schuster, Kolamatangi, I hope I'm saying that right, as Deck, the main Predator in this one, the Yautja that is involved in this. So, Michael, I go to you first. Your thoughts on this, my friend, overall, and then we'll get to a little bit of the spoiler stuff, but overall, your thoughts on it.
I love this movie. I had an absolute blast. I thought it was great. I think Dan Trachtenberg, I think the Predator franchise is in such good hands right now between Prey, Killer of Killers, and now Badlands. Dan Trachtenberg gets Predator in a way that a lot of people don't and knows what he wants to do with this franchise. And you get that feeling between all three of these movies and where things are potentially going. I have the feeling with the Predator franchise right now. We talk about this a lot with Marvel. That feeling that you had during phases 1, 2, and 3 in the Infinity Saga, where at a certain point you were just like, I trust them. They got this. And you were just along for the ride, which is not how we currently feel. That's how I feel with Predator right now.
Okay. He
knows what he wants to do. I am along for the ride. I do think it's interesting because there was about 7 of us, Shannon.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
About 7 of us went. And a couple people that were very big Predator fans that were very excited came out and were not happy with the movie.
Oh.
And we did have a bit of a discussion afterwards that kind of got to the heart of tonally what makes Predator Badlands so different. And did this work for you or did this not? And so we'll talk about that when we get into the details. But all in all, I love this. I love Deck's story. I love Deck as a character. I was just kind of charmed by all of it. And even though it's a little bit of a PR spin to say it's a PG-13 movie because there's no humans in it, I didn't feel like it was not violent.
Yeah.
It was a movie that was all like there's no humans in the movie. Like it's all robots and aliens. But like the emotion behind Deck's relationship with his dad and the action sequences on the planet, like I was entertained and had a blast, and it felt Predator to me. So I was very, very happy.
Shannon, your thoughts overall on this movie? Did it work for you? Did you like it, or were you one of the people complaining coming out of the movie?
I was not one of the ones complaining. Okay. I had like 1 or 2 thoughts, but for the most part, I mean, when the announcement was made that it was going to be PG-13, there was this thought that that they're Disneying it again. They didn't Disney a thing. I mean, they didn't hold back on any gore. Could they have pushed it further? Absolutely. Would it have been gratuitous? Absolutely. The gore that we got, the violence that we got, everything fit. And the great thing that I agree with Vogel on Dan Trachtenberg's kind of handling of the franchise is this is a different type of Predator story in that the Predator is the protagonist.
Yeah.
I mean, but he never betrays what makes a predator a predator. Like everything still lines up. And like, this is not, I do not mean to, poke the Rocha bear with this statement, but what they did with this movie is what Transformers has been afraid to do, which is making the alien character the protagonist. Now you can argue Bumblebee, but really that's a two-hander of Haley Steinfeld.
Right.
But putting the Predator front and center has proven that you can tell a story from this character's point of view, much like you could tell a story from a Transformers point of view and still have it be a satisfying experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I can't wait to see it again. I had so much fun. And I said it in my review on social media, like, I don't understand why this didn't come out in the summer. This is a summer movie. Absolutely. Sit back, relax, popcorn. There's emotion involved in here, but there's great action sequences, fun battle stuff going on. And I think if you can get past some of the gore from the alien blood that gets spilled in the movie, there's actually a really kind of a family type feeling to the movie that you could go with a teenager or whatever and see it with your grandfather, or grandma. I love that about this movie. It's very accessible. And Shannon, you make an excellent point. The leads are a synth and a predator, a Yautja. But they all have human characteristics, human things going on that you can relate to universally. So it's almost like you forget that it's a predator and you forget that it's a synth, which I think is a gift of the movie, because you've got one synth that is kind of obsessed with her relationship with her quote unquote sister in Tessa. And the other, the Yautja, is trying to get revenge or fight for his brother who was killed by his dad, to show his dad and the rest of the Predator that he matters. And so those are very human, universal things. And I thought that was genius. And you add to it Trachtenberg's deft direction of understanding, as you said, Michael, he elevates this to a place where the first movie never even conceived of achieving. And these last three films, arguably, in my opinion, are the best Predator films of the franchise. All three of them over that macho. I love the Schwarzenegger film. It's fun. It's a fun macho B movie. But like these three show you what the franchise is capable. Is capable of doing, and I love that about these movies. So to me, I'm 1,000% on board. So yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Well, no. So here was the argument, because this is the intro. Because everything you said, I agree with, and I do. I just my buddy Doc, who is a animation writer, just called me before we started recording. He's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" And he loved it, but he was like, "It's a My Little Pony episode," and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like this is here's a predator. Predators work alone. They don't have teams. It's all strongest survive. The alpha predator, the alpha Yautja, is the one that can kill everybody else.
Yeah. And
that journey from that to I'm the alpha because I protect my clan. We are stronger together. That's like a My Little Pony episode. Like that is a very heartwarming, heartfelt lesson. And I don't say that in a derogatory way, and he doesn't say it in a derogatory way. But Shannon said with the PG-13 rating, there was a fear that they were going to Disneyfy it, and he says they absolutely did not. However, one of the people that saw the movie with us on Thursday night, their first comment was, "Wow, Disney ruined Predator."
Wow.
And that opinion was, just to talk to them, because like all three of us agree and we all think it's great. So we could go through it and talk about how great it was. But to argue the other point, what they were saying was Predator, the original, it's sci-fi, but it's a monster movie. Predator is one of the ultimate movie monsters. Stan Winston designed him. He is a movie monster. He is a killer. This Predator is. Now we have Deck, the runt of the litter, going on this journey, making friends. One of them is this big, adorable, big-eyed alien that you fall in love with, that like loses his mom. And that there's this heartfelt message to it that a couple people that we went to go see the movie with, to them, that was not what they wanted out of a Predator movie. Now, reading a lot of the reviews and seeing the Rotten Tomatoes score and just scrolling through Twitter, they seem to be in the minority.
Yes.
The overall consensus seems to be this was a heartwarming movie, but it also felt like Predator, and I loved it. And that's where I'm sitting. But one of the other big distinctions that I've noticed over the past few days, and I don't know that this is true of either of you actually, but anyone who's read any of the Predator comics, because the Predator comic books put Yautja as main characters long before movies did.
Yes.
Movies, there's always been a human. They've been hunted.
Yep.
That's what the franchise is. The Predator is Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees in sci-fi. But in the comics, getting into like the word Yautja came from the comics. Like that's where we sort of got this. And so if you are more accustomed to a Predator in a leading role, it seems like you are much more ready to accept this. And some people whose Predator love comes from the movie franchises were like, I don't want to see the kinder, gentler killer.
Yeah, but I think that's the problem with that, in my opinion, is that you're limiting the franchise to being only stereotyped and stock Predator that only does this. And the thing is, the reason franchises survive is because they evolve over time to meet the public's tastes. What these people are hearkening to
don't say you. I'm just saying the other opinion. I'm with you. I loved it.
Yeah, I know.
You people, Michael.
Get off. You people. Get off my jock, Rocha.
You mean you people. And the thing is that you push this out and you go, well, then you're limiting what can be done here. And I think what's great about this story is that it shows you that you can tell multiple stories within the Predator franchise. Also, you have to be realistic. This is a studio that is trying to find out if they legitimately have a theatrical reach with their Predator franchise, because they released it on streaming, Prey. They released Killer of Killers on streaming on Hulu. Also, both of them streaming. This is their theatrical foray. And what was everybody complaining about? Oh, Prey should have been in the theater. Prey should have been in the theater. And now it's like, okay, let's see what it is. And yes, they're coming at it from a much more inclusive approach. The 80s macho, show my muscles, hide in the dirt. Let's have Jesse Ventura say quippy things and Schwarzenegger say quippy things and Carl Weathers and muscles and biceps. That shit's from the fucking 80s. That is not now anymore, okay? And you want to appeal to more
I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
You are just 10 minutes ago talking about your fucking love of Rambo and how Rambo's the greatest thing in the world.
Rambo wasn't built on muscles and all that shit. The first film has none of that crap. The first film is about a Vietnam veteran dealing with PTSD, fighting back against a system that is conditioned to destroy him. In what Brian Denny, he's abusing his power, abusing his badge, police brutality. That's what it's about. And then in 2, it becomes this thing and whatever. And I thought they lost their way, which is why I liked the last one. I know Shannon said it came and went. I liked it because it went back to its roots. It went back to focusing on Rambo, ground-based. And so I like
Predator is a nuanced story. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a troubled soldier.
He is.
Who has to make some hard choices.
But I'm not knocking. Again, I'm not knocking the first
Shut up,
movie.
Shannon. Shut up, Shannon. Let me go.
Wait. What is the hard choice he has to make? Whether or not to let go of Carl Weathers' arm first? What is the struggle?
Carl, he has a great relationship with Carl Weathers. They have a past, and he lets that blind him to this mission. And then he finds out Carl Weathers lied to him, and he has to make a choice. Do I do what the military-industrial complex wants me to do, or do I help this poor woman who is being terrorized by the Predator? And he helps her, and then Billy decides to sacrifice himself so that the others can survive. It's a movie about sacrifice. It's a movie about loving your fellow man.
Vogel, you son of a bitch.
What's scary is some people are going to hear Michael's defense and go, that's right. That's right. Very part of it all. Because they certainly didn't mind destabilizing South American governments, but as soon as a Predator showed up, oh boy. Yeah, listen, but the thing is that's my, and listen, I think people are right to feel however they want to feel about the women. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody's feelings about it. It's more a matter of, I think what they did here was really smart. They've made the Predator accessible. They made him interesting. Yes, using the runt of the litter, because a lot of us are not the fucking Schwarzenegger thing. And I know some people go to these films to fantasize about being Schwarzenegger, but the truth is a lot of us are Dex and trying to fight through things in life, trying to overcome things in life, trying to prove ourselves in life. So there's a universal connection that they did with this that I think was really smart in his storyline and in the performances. I think both of them delivered I think some of the best work Elle Fanning's ever done. Like, I came out of the movie going, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want her in everything now. And I didn't always necessarily feel that way. She is so good in this movie, in both of the roles. And I'm like, how the hell are you not putting her front and center in a Marvel movie or DC movie or a Star Wars movie? This is a woman with incredible talent. I think she's better than Dakota. I'll say it. Damn it. Anyway, go ahead.
Better than who?
Dakota. I think he's better than her sister.
You might not be wrong. I think she's great. But I do think it's very funny that you said they both had great performances because Deck is not a real person. But I don't disagree with you. But I think you're right. And I think one of the other things that Trachtenberg did really well, and this is a hard thing to do, is a Predator as a killer who is chasing you doesn't have to emote that much.
Right.
A Predator who is the runt of the litter and carries your movie.
Yeah.
And is responding and doing double takes and arching his eyebrow and being too proud. Like, there's a whole list of things, emotions that Deck shows on his face in this movie that we as the audience go with. And the fact that you don't even think about it and the fact that you just said they both gave great performances proves what Shannon was saying about putting the not human character front and center. Dan Trachtenberg did it. That Predator, the performance that the actor, the CG artist, the puppeteer, like the whole piece of how they made that Predator work, they did an outstanding job. Deck does carry that movie. Yeah.
He did the same thing in Prey, right, Shan? I mean, the Predator in Prey had emotions, had feelings about situations, but he was much more alpha, but he certainly had feelings about situations.
But that Predator, I mean, and look, I think that Predator design is cool. It doesn't really take his mask off until the end, but Naru is who we're following.
Yes, of course.
Like that's what I'm saying. When the bad guy, when the Predator is, I am the hunter and I am here to hunt the best prey and I'm hunting you and I'm going to use all my tools to kill you. you can do great work on the face and the facial acting, and it's cool, but you don't have to. And even in Killer of Killers, where you had 3 very different predators that were all kind of awesome and badass, that's not who you're following. The fact that there's this, you open the movie with, you're like, hey, you're my older brother. You've always looked out for me. You now look out for me here. I'm emotionally traumatized that I just watched dad kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on this entire journey and come back at the end and kill dad. Like the fact that you just follow that whole movie is really, really impressive. And the fact that audiences, just based on fan response so far, really seem to be taken with Dec and that story. It's really impressive.
Well, the moment that Dec lands on Genna and he's out of the escape pod, and this is a combination of your live action performer and your visual effects artist.
Yeah.
That moment where he just starts to breathe heavy, sort of like really taking in everything that has just happened. And as he slams the ground and he screams that primal scream, I feel like everyone in the audience, maybe not the handful of people that Vogel brought up earlier who were with us, but I feel like everyone in the audience felt that. Like they have felt that moment in their lives where things have, your life has taken 2 sudden right turns, completely out of your control, and you don't know what to do. And the only thing you can do is scream and hit something. Like I feel like everyone has felt that.
Well, let me ask you this, Shannon. What do you think about what they did storyline wise with the Tessa and Elle Fanning's performance and the storyline overall, and where it ended up by the end of the movie?
I mean, despite the fact that, she is 2 versions of the same synth, these were 2 very different characters. These were 2 characters that had different programming. One is supposed to be in the field. One is supposed to be in the lab. And the one in the lab goes on this great adventure. And the one in the field tried to save her sister and saw the ramifications of that and be like, well, I can't do that anymore. The thing that is fascinating, and I feel like this is something that Dan Trachtenberg kind of picked up and has taken the ball and is running with it, is with Alien, with the synths, and with the Yautja now, the complicated relationship that they all have with their mothers. The fact that Alien is the alien queen, the program that Tessa was talking to his mother, and who shows up at the end, but Dec's mom. I mean, I feel like there is something that's being set up there. I don't think that is an accident. Like I had told Vogel, like by the time the movie ended, I did not expect that fight with his dad. I'm like, well, that's the sequel. And then I'm kind of like, oh, okay, well, it happened. And then the moment you see that ship come in, and he says, that's my mother. Like, it's like, okay, we are I think the intention is that we are going to get a second chapter in Dec's story. But yeah, I mean, everything that Elle Fanning did, I mean, again, these are two distinct characters, and the wide-eyed wonder that Thea had about, again, going on this adventure, this thing that she never anticipated seeing, and sort of the cold resolution that Tessa has is just outstanding. And this is more to like the production design. The fact that in their eyes is the Weyland-Yutani logo before they are on. Those are like just little details. Like if you didn't have that, would you have missed it? Probably not. But because you did have it, it just ensconces you in the world of this story. And across the board, I think everyone just did a great job.
Yeah, and Mother, of course, is an Alien reference. Mother, the thing in the Nostromo in the first Alien movie. Yeah, Michael, your thoughts on Elle Fanning and what happens with these 2 characters, and if you want to throw in the storyline with Dec as well.
Yeah, I will. I was a little. So 2 things. I'll give 2 light criticisms. One was I was a little thrown at a synth who had so much emotion at the top, because in the Weyland-Yutani synth, like the way that we've understood synths through all of the Alien franchise, that's not exactly right. Later on, they had this is why Mother gave us feelings. And I think that was like to answer why we did this. And it kind of threw me, but I also really liked it. Like I thought Thea as a character was such a great counterpoint to Dec that I'm like, I love the buddy comedy that we're getting out of these 2. And it's really working for me. But again, this falls under the category of what some people who like their Alien franchise. They like their Weyland-Yutani the way they like their Weyland-Yutani. They like their Predator. These are the changes that are making it a little bit more 4-quadrant, which I always respond well to, but I understand why people wouldn't. And then with Tessa, everything worked, but like the back half of this movie, and I think it's just because there's a lot of stuff going on, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I would have loved a little bit more complexity between Tessa and Thea and the both of them and Mother and the Weyland-Yutani. It's pretty much like, get the monster, kill the monster, or you're going to get killed. And like, that's it. And like, there would have make kind of adding a little bit more complication in the back I could have done with, but I enjoyed everything that we got. I thought Elle Fanning was great. Everything Shannon said about her playing two very distinct characters is absolutely true.
Yeah.
And kind of to what both of you are saying, like I got to the end of this movie and I'm like, I want to see Dec, Thea, and Bud go on more adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm down for this trio. I'm very into it. So even though, you know what, I liken it a little bit to like the first Captain America movie, which I know we're all fans of, but when you go back and you look at the first Captain America movie, it's a little small and the third act is a little rushed, but it got so much right. And it sort of paved the way for so many awesome stories to come after it with Steve Rogers. Yeah. And I felt like that with this. I think that this is a movie that in a lot of ways felt, for as awesome and fun as it was very straightforward in what it was. Like Dec gets to the planet, fights to survive, does his things. But I did think also, you know, we kind of just glossed over the Weyland-Yutani of it all. But
I was going to ask about that.
For the fact that we've had 2 at-bats of Alien Predator movies that are not good movies.
Yes.
But in the comics, you go back to the 90s, you read that first Alien Predator comic, it is an absolute banger. And the dream of these two worlds colliding. And again, what Dan Trachtenberg has chosen to do here, which is very smart, is he's collided the worlds, but not in a over-the-top way. If Weyland-Yutani is in this universe looking for invasive species, which is what they're all about, then the aliens are in this universe now. It is all joined. He also threw Independence Day in there just for fun with the skulls in Quay's ship. And you're like, all right, cool. So I thought that was all neat. And then as for the ending and kind of Dec's journey, you know, it is like Tess and Thea, they are the children of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, as Shannon was saying with Mother, and they chose their battles, and they like Tessa chose one way and Thea chose the other. And Dec and his father, like these two are joined together because of their weird sibling issues and their weird parent issues. And it all works. What's really cool about the ending when it's like, oh, that's my mom. In addition to that, just being a fun tag at the end after you go through this whole thing, it is also comic book accurate to the lore. Because in the comic books and in some of the video games and just in the lore of the Predator franchise outside of the movies that everybody knows, the Yautja are a matriarchal society and the women are stronger than the men. The reason we see male predators in all the movies that we've seen is because they're the ones that are going out and doing the hunting, but the women are ruling everything. So Dan Trachtenberg is clearly picking up on that. And if he carries that through and we get to the any people who start tweeting about, oh, the Predator franchise went woke and now we have to have women predators, no, that has been for decades now. That has existed. And I think seeing some female predators that are like really badass coming down the pike, including his mom, like I'm here for it. So again, it's just, he set everything up in the right way. And although I could, being very generous to our friends who didn't like it, I can see how Bud being big-eyed and kind of adorable would bother you if that's a thing that bothers you. But also, people are kind of in love with Bud. Oh, Disney wanted their Grogu. It's kind of what I was saying about Gremlins and the Mogwai. It's like, oh, they wanted the cute character, so they put the cute character in there. But I'm like, that cute character was ripping off limbs.
That's the pushback I put because I've seen that as well on the narrative online from people who actually have good faith. There's a lot of bad faith takes. I
don't think it's a bad faith take. I get why that would bother people.
Yeah, and as I'm saying, I think there's people making legitimate criticisms on that, and there's some bad faith takes where they're using that as a kind of you're woke, all that kind of nonsense, just so they can grift off people. But I think there are legitimate opinions with what you're talking about, and because I'm sure I know the people, but I don't know the people you're mentioning right now. The idea is, I get why that would offend them or upset them or whatever, but like the fact that they went with a found family narrative, but did not shirk on the violence, I think is really important. It was their way of addressing that. Like, look, yes, these people are from a sister breakup, a child that's been removed from its mom, and a runt of the litter who's trying to prove himself to his overbearing father. And so you've got all that. So they find each other, and it's not like Yautja goes, "Guys, help me!" He is like forced it initially.
I am wolf.
Yeah, I will use you as a tool. I'll use you as a tool. Great, but then eventually he realizes like he does need help to do the things he's going to do here in the end. But throughout the movie, him and Thea and that little thing are tearing people apart. They're ripping Bud. They're ripping synths to pieces. They're bashing their heads into the fucking ground. They're stepping on their heads and cracking them. They're ripping limbs off. There is not a like, oh, we're going to kill them safely. They're fucking killing people, or synths rather, left and right and what have you. So you're not shirking on the violence or the gore or the entertainment aspect of the violence that has been a part of the Predator franchise since the beginning. So I do take some of the criticism, and I'm like, you got to be realistic here. Because if you want to make that movie that you made from the Schwarzenegger, you want to make that kind of movie, it's going to make about $50 million. If you want to make a movie that's going to appeal to a lot of people, Predator Badlands is what you get, and that's going to make a good amount of change by the time it's done.
Playing devil's advocate, what you are describing, and I agree with you, is a big company trying to turn something into a mega franchise. And just like you were saying with Rambo, to turn something into a mega franchise, you do need to make it a little bit more accessible to a wider audience. And so that's clearly what's happening here. And the debate is, did they lose what makes Predator Predator or not? And like, I think the three of us don't feel like they did. And it seems like audiences in general don't. But I would say that I understand if there's a very specific, this is the monster movie where the monster hunts you and you have to, it's the most dangerous game. It's kill or be killed. This is a different vibe. But yes, everything that you guys are saying, I'm just offering the counterpoint because it was very clearly brought to my attention when we got out of that theater. But
sorry, Mike.
No, but the more that I sat with it, the more that I was just like, this is smart. And I don't think the Predator is always going to be a super violent franchise.
Yeah.
But they figured out a way to do it that made it work. And everything you're saying about found family, even like Bud sort of spitting on Deck and kind of marking him as part of his thing, like all the three of them all coming together and sort of choosing each other. Like I said, this is like My Little Pony shit. This is Pixar. This is Pixar movie. Like somebody described it as like they kind of got that Pixar vibe, which is a weird thing to say about a Predator movie. But when people say that, and even like I've seen so many tweets that are like, this movie had a lot more heart than I was expecting. This was sweet. I'm a little bit in love with the three of them together, which I didn't think I would like.
Yeah.
But holy shit, this was really a great Predator movie. Like that seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sure in the comments we're going to have people be like, nope, didn't do it for me. And I get it. I do understand, but it worked for me.
Yeah, I think it's ironic. Sorry, Stan, did you want to chime in on it? I don't mean to.
I mean, no, the only thing that I would say, because I was one of the folks that came out at the end, having really, really enjoyed the movie. I'm like, I would have altered the design of Bud. Because I'm like, he was.
Oh, okay.
She was a little too cuddly.
Okay.
She was a little too Grogu like. I'm like, I think you alter that design slightly. You make the eyes less round. You make it look more like an animal. I think you can still hit every comedic moment and every heartfelt moment, but you remove the cutesiness aspect that some people had an issue with. Now, I wouldn't say that I had an issue with it, but it was something that I noted, and that's not what I would have done. But I think that cutesy did pull people out of it.
That's fair. I mean, I guess that's fair. I in no way that I think of Grogu once when I was watching the movie, or that it was.
I think of Grogu every night when I go to bed, every morning when I wake up, just all Grogu all the time.
Grogu is literally in the background of your view right now.
As a counterpoint, I mean, I just didn't think about it at all. Didn't think it was like being done. Like it just didn't occur to me because I was enjoying the movie so much, and that they end with a pretty brutal fight between him and his father. He rips his father's arm off and kills his father, for fuck's sake. Like it is not like, oh, it's touchy-feely ending. Like, Dad, accept me, please. I was wrong about you, son. You proved yourself. He said, no, fuck you, man. We're going toe to toe. So to me, it's different. And then the mom showing up. I agree.
For a Predator, it's like a Klingon thing in Star Trek. You are right. This wasn't the Dad, I figured out a new way. Son, I've accepted you as the wolf of our clan. No, he like stabs his dad in the head, and then Blood eats him. But for a Predator movie, that's about as heartwarming an ending as you get.
Well, fair, but I still think it stays within the parameters of the franchise. I don't think they Disney-fied this at all. It's a different approach. And listen, the other installments sucked. Okay, they did not do well in the movie theaters, and they sucked. Predator 2 sucks. AVP Predator, those films suck. The fucking Shane Black films sucked. So this was on life support.
Predator 2 doesn't suck. It is a very quintessential 90s movie. And Predators with Adrian Brody has some good stuff in it.
It's so bad. Predators is about the only one that I might say has anything of real fucking value to the franchise. But then you get these three films. So people are like, they should have done this. They're trying to put life back into the franchise. Well, and these,
you know what's funny?
So
earlier this week when we were talking about Star Trek and everything that David Ellison was saying about Star Trek, and we were talking about in general Paramount sort of trying to maybe like make things a little bit more. A little less woke, a little more bro-y, all the things that David Ellison has kind of said he wants to do. And we were talking about Star Trek, and you were like, I don't want this version of Star Trek. What we're seeing with Predator is that push and pull. Yeah. How far, and I get very interested with this, how far can you push a franchise in any direction and still make it feel like that franchise? Right. And with Predator, Dan Trachtenberg pushed the Predator franchise into a very different area in this movie than it's ever been before on screen. And it seems to have paid off. We'll have to see how the box office does, but it seems to have paid off. But for those people, what they're responding to is like, this got pushed too far. This got pushed too far for me. But like, I think that for Predator's future as a movie franchise, I think this was the right move for sure.
One last thing we should talk about. I know I keep bringing this up when I do our reviews recently, but we should talk about it. The score. I thought Sarah Schachner and Benjamin Wallfish's score was fantastic. And I thought Jeff Cutter's cinematography was phenomenal. I mean, there were shots in that movie where I just wished I could have paused and sat in the fucking world of that shot for a little bit.
It was like Pandora on meth.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. What did you guys think of the score and the cinematography?
This was the wrong side of the tracks. Pandora.
Pandora. This is Pandora going down a real bad road.
This would be the fifth one, the fifth Avatar. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the score, I thought it worked really well. I really kind of it felt a lot like Dune to me. How, especially with I'm so glad that we still get the 20th Century Studios opening, despite the fact that Disney bought them. I love the fanfare at the beginning and how it slowly morphed into this Predator music. In terms of the cinematography, beautifully shot movie. I mean, again, everything looked perfect to me. So the idea that I'm looking up the box office right now, heading for a near franchise record of 37 million.
There you go.
So fingers crossed that it overperforms, so we get more adventures out of these three.
Yeah.
It was definitely, the score was very reminiscent of Dune, but in a good way. Like I think that in the same way that this movie puts the Yautja front and center as our protagonist, the score itself kind of gives you this alien, otherworldly kind of vibe, which is what Hans Zimmer does with Dune as well. But it really fit. Like it made me feel like I was in this culture that I've never been really a part of before in this way in the movies. And I was really, really into it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%. Yeah. Just to add what Shannon said, it's got the best cinema score of any Predator movie with A-. And the audience score is further boosted by the Screen Engine ComScore post-track. Definite recommend of 78% and 5 stars, which is platinum for any movie. So that speaks volumes, and it seems to validate the decisions they made. And again, not taking anything away from the two people you didn't like, or two didn't like the film, and other people didn't like.
I'll text them later and tell them they're wrong. I do this thing that I realize when I really like a movie. This is how I know I really like a movie. I'm like, oh, maybe I liked it. It was good. Then I get home and I check Twitter, and every tweet that's really funny about how great it was, I just keep sending it. Wow. How about this? How about this? How about now?
Hey, buddy. All right. So final, should we give a score? What do you guys score on the movie out of 5? I put it at 4.25. I would say what Shannon and you brought up, Michael, as well. The third act of the movie, I would have liked a little more complexity as well. I mean, Tessa is like kind of in and does her thing and then out. And I would have liked a little bit more of the Tessa kind of issues between them, exploring that, little battles between them. Would have liked a bit more for the ending. But in the end, it's just a nitpick for me overall.
4 out of 5.
Okay.
Strong 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I put it like maybe it might between 4 and 4.5. Like it's up there. Like I think this movie's going to be imminently rewatchable.
Yeah.
I think this is a movie that you can put on anytime and be like, yeah, I'm in for this. I'm in for this. And so the criticisms that I have about it kind of falls into that Captain America territory. Again, I could put Captain America: The First Avenger on any day and watch that whole movie. And the fact that the third act is rushed and there's some things that kind of irk me that I think could have been cooler, and this part's a little cheesy and this is that, it ultimately in the bigger scheme of things doesn't detract. When you have just nitpicks, so I think it's maybe like 4.5 for me.
Okay.
And then I do want to say really quickly before we end, I do want to point out that Alien Romulus ended with our lead and her brother, who is a Weyland-Yutani synth, headed off to parts unknown. Predator Badlands have ended with Deck and his bestie, the Weyland-Yutani synth, and their girl Bud ready to face Deck's mom. These franchises are headed together, and I think if they play their cards right, we are in for some solid Alien movies, some solid Predator movies, but I think we might finally be in for an actual good Alien versus Predator movie. I would watch Deck fight an alien queen for, you don't even have to tell me what, the movie can just be Deck showing up and fighting an alien queen for 90 minutes. I don't care. I'll watch it.
We will see. And I wonder if down the road they'll find a way to rope in the Blade Runner aspect of it all, because that's also connected in some way. So we will see. All right, well, there you go. That's our spoiler review for Predator Badlands and our conversation with all these other topics. Thank you all so much for watching. Yes, what?
Do you think they're going to release Independence Blade Predator Romulus?
Yes, 100%. I would totally be down with that. We will see.
Predator Killer of Mothers.
Coming this Mother's Day to theaters near you.
Oh man. All right. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for watching. Shannon, what are we going to tell them?
Yeah, if you'd like to follow us on social media, on Twitter, it's at @geek_buddies, on Instagram at @the_geek_buddies. If you'd like to follow me on social media, on Twitter, it's at @Shannon_McClung, on Instagram at Shannon the Geek Buddy. If you'd like to follow Mr. Vogel, it is at MKToon. If you'd like to follow Mr. Rocha, it is at The Rocha Says.
Thank you.
Go ahead and smash that like button below. Subscribe to Johnny's John Rocha page. Check out all the amazing content he has got there. Leave your comments below. Are you in for another Jurassic Park? Are you excited for Gremlins 3? What are your feelings about Rambo? And what do you think about Deck, Thea, Bud, and Predator Badlands? Let us know in the comments below. If you're listening to us on a podcast, leave us some stars and comments so we go up in the rankings and more people can find us. And as always, the best thing you can do is retweet this video, post it on your socials, send it to your friends, and tell them to hang out with your buddies, the Geek Buddies.
There you go. All right. Thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves. Be well. We'll see you next week with another brand new episode of The
Geek
Buddies.